So you play cribbage, right? You know how to count to 15, you can spot a run a mile away, but what if I told you the real secret to winning isn't just about the cards in your hand, but everything to do with the board itself? Today, we're going to move way beyond simple counting and unlock the deep positional strategies that separate the casual players from the sharks.
And you know, this whole thing really starts with a problem that, let's be honest, we can all relate to. This comes from a player named Tomcat on an old online forum, and it's just perfect. You love the game, but you keep getting crushed by the one person you really want to beat. So this one's for you, Tomcat, and for anyone out there who's ready to finally turn the tables.
Okay, so before we get into the really juicy, advanced stuff, let's just build a quick foundation. Most players, and maybe you too, operate on a set of, well, let's call it common wisdom. This is first-level strategy.
I bet you've heard all of these before. Don't toss 5s or 10s into your opponent's crib. That's just giving them free points. Don't lead with a 5 when you're pegging. You know, that's the part of the game where you're playing cards back and forth trying to score before you even count your hands. And, of course, the classic advice, never break up a run. This is all solid advice. It's the stuff that gets passed down. But to really elevate your game, to go from just playing to truly dominating, you have to make a fundamental shift in your thinking. And that brings us to the core concept that is going to completely change how you see the board. It's called positional advantage. This, right here, is the expert's secret weapon.
So what is board position? It's actually pretty simple. It means you stop staring only at the cards in front of you and you start making every single decision, what to throw in the crib, what to lead with, everything, based on where your peg is and where your opponent's peg is. The implications are huge. You stop playing your cards and you start playing the board. You start playing the game.
This slide just nails that mental shift. See, the amateur looks at their hand and asks, how many points can I get? But the expert? The expert looks at the board and asks a much, much smarter question. What does the board demand I do right now? And here's the crazy part. Sometimes the answer is to score fewer points.
So once you start thinking this way, it's not just in your head. It completely changes how you act. It gives you two totally different modes of play you can switch between, offense and defense. Knowing when to be aggressive and when to play it safe is everything.
Let's look at a fantastic example from the Cribbage Pro blog that just illustrates this perfectly. We're going to see the exact same hand played in two completely different ways. The only thing that changes? The score on the board.
All right, scenario 1. Let's call this defense mode. Look at the board. You're tied at 109. You only need 12 points to go out. And what do you know? Your hand is worth exactly 12. You're counting first, you're in the driver's seat. So, you lead with a 3. Your opponent plays a 3. Now you have another 3 in your hand. Oh, it's so tempting to play it. That's a pair royal for 6 huge pegging points. But then, that thought hits you. What if they have the last 3? They'd get a double pair royal for 12 points and win the game right there. The risk is just too high. So the expert play? You play the 10. You get 0 pegging points, but you guarantee the win. That's defense.
Okay, now hit the rewind button. You have the exact same hand, but look at the scoreboard. Now you're tied at 106. Suddenly, you need 15 points to win, but your hand is still only worth 12. You're behind. Statistically, the dealer is going to win from here. So this time, when they play that 3 on your 3, you have to go for it. You throw down your other 3 and take those 6 points. Yeah, you're taking a massive risk, but it's the only way you can win. You have to be aggressive. That's offense. Same cards, totally different strategy, all because of the board.
Okay, so that's a great example for the end of the game, right? But how do you use this kind of thinking from the very first deal? Well, you need a mental map of the board, a way to see the whole strategic landscape, not just the next few holes.
The key to this map is a concept called par scores. And yeah, it's exactly like par in golf. It's the score you should have, statistically speaking, to be on track for a win at any given point in the game. Take a look at this table. This is basically your cheat sheet. It's a lifesaver. Just find the deal number you're on, say it's the 5th deal. The dealer should be around hole 59 and the non-dealer around 69. This instantly tells you if you're ahead, behind, or right on track. If you're ahead of par, great, you can play it safe, protect your lead. But if you're behind, well, now you know it's time to get aggressive and take some calculated risks to catch up.
And we can zoom in even further. Experts don't just see par, they see the board in terms of streets and these critical zones. These little 5-hole stretches are the power positions. They're the high ground.
If you're the dealer and you start the hand with your peg in one of these zones, you have a huge statistical advantage. So your new goal becomes fighting to land your peg in these zones and keeping your opponent out.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to control. Look, over hundreds of games, the cards are going to even out. Everyone gets good hands and bad hands. The difference is what you do with them. Are you just reacting to the luck of the draw, or are you the one manipulating the game, using your position on the board to create your own luck?
When you adopt this expert mindset, you start to see cribbage for what it truly is, a beautiful game of numbers, probability, and calculated risk. And speaking of numbers, let's have a little fun with some cribbage trivia.
19. What's the deal with the number 19 in cribbage? Think about it for a second. Have you ever, in all your games, actually counted a 19-point hand?
Yeah, if you said yes, sorry, you miscounted. It's famously known as the impossible hand. There is literally no combination of 4 cards plus the starter card that adds up to exactly 19. It's just a cool little quirk that reminds you how deeply mathematical this game really is.
All right, now for the big one, the most legendary, most sought-after number in the entire game, the one every single player dreams about.
29, the perfect hand, the highest score you can possibly get. It's like hitting the cribbage jackpot. But you know, while you're waiting for that 1 in over 200,000 hand to come along, you could be winning game after game after game just by mastering the strategies we've been talking about today. So the next time you sit down to play, what are you going to ask yourself? Are you just going to be counting the points that happen to be in your hand? Or are you going to look at that board, see the whole game, and ask, what does my position demand? Because that simple shift, that's the difference between just playing the game and playing to win.